and 99 FM.
In the news tonight, City of Windhoek secures 155 million Namibian dollar loan for new power substation to avoid load shedding.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Welcome to this evening's edition of News on One. Here are the headlines. School placements still a headache for parents. Moses Garwa Primary School prone to burglary. Namibia records shallow earthquake at Luderitz. And Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the weather. First up, the head of Department of Pre-Primary and Grade 1 at Emma Wolgenode Primary School in Windhoek has advised the government and the Ministry of Education to plan ahead for the 2030 school placements. This in light of many other government schools also facing difficulty in placing learners in pre-primary, Grade 1 and Grade 8.
It's back to school for the year 2023, and as you can see behind me, there's parents who are looking for admission for the grade 1s at the Moses Garwa School. Government schools around the country open today, but some parents are disgruntled and frustrated as they are still struggling to find placements for the children in the capital. News on One spoke to some of the parents at Moses Garwa in Katutura.
Since the teachers has resumed back to work, and we've been told the same story over and over that school are full actually. So we are here to try our luck, and what actually pushed me to be here, mostly often, I'm just actually stay or live in the same street.
I'm looking for my child school space grade 2. And here at Moses Garwa, they are telling us that we must come after 15 days. But I move around at different school looking for space, but it's not easy. No, the thing was schooling out of Windhoek at the hostel, but he's having an allergy. So I need to remove her from that school so I can stay with him myself. Because when I take her to the doctor, when you go there with the medicine, they don't give proper.
At Emma Wolgenode, the head of Department of Pre-Primary and Grade 1, Annie Ventenaar, called on the government and ministry to plan ahead for Vision 2030.
Our schools cannot accommodate the population currently in Windhoek, in the Khomas region. Expand the schools, build on the schools that are already in existence, try to build new schools, because it will just get worse, especially pre and grade 1 and grade 8.
She added that the influx of applications stemmed from COVID-19's financial impact on parents and guardians.
Most of the enrollments that we are receiving that are late are coming from private schools. Parents that have enrolled their kids there, due to COVID, they cannot afford anymore to make those payments. So they would now like to come back to the government schools. The procedures were we handed out last year all our applications during the time for enrollment. It was stipulated by the government. Parents applied, we informed them before the time, we sent our list through the regional office. And then we have also cancellations. But the procedure there is to consider the parents staying in our area first, parents that were transferred, that have accepted new jobs in Windhoek. We consider and also if there are any children already at our school, siblings.
In other news, Windhoek's Moses Garua Primary School principal Judith Sepiso said that the school is vulnerable to theft. The school was broken into for the 4th time last night. The government school is situated in Hakahana location in the Moses Garua constituency.
Sepiso stated that the school was broken into by 4 unidentified men last night and caused massive damage to an estimate to total 100,000 Namibian dollars.
To report about the case that happened last night, around 1 o'clock, according to the security, the 4 men went to the security room to get the security guard. He was brought in front of the office, tied up, and then they tried to cut the office on the roof. As we check the roof is cut, but they could not get in. So they came through the window, they cut the window. As you can see, the window here is cut. That's where they got the entrance to enter into the office, went inside, damaged. All the CC cameras for the school were cut. All the HOD doors was broken. They went ahead to cut the front door to try to open, but they could not open. They only opened the door, but the burglar door was strong. They could not open. They went inside to open the principal's office, which is my office, to try to open the office. They could not open, so it is protected. So what they did, they just tried to cut the door with a knife. They were kicking and cutting. So as you saw, the hole on the window, on the door. So a lot of damage, including the siren, was also cut off. The G4S connection of the security, it was also cut off. So luckily the G4S responded very quickly. So they discovered the door, that chair. They took it out, they wanted to take it, and also the computer box for my office. So luckily G4S came to rescue, but these cases have been going on for several years now. So we opened the cases, and also we reported the cases to the regional office to take action.
Sepiso added that the school is in a crime-prone area, adding that they haven't received any solution from the previous reports of theft cases at the school.
The school is at the center of high criminal risk. This school is a high criminal risk. It has been broken in several times, and several cases were reported. The security are not armed, they have no protection, and some are ladies who are just there, and even gentlemen, they don't have anything to protect themselves. So when intruders come in, handcuff them and start stealing and vandalizing this way. So the estimate damage is more than 100,000, because even last year, 22 of December, so we have 2 classes down there, the new 2 pre-primary classes, whereby the thieves came in on the 22nd of December to come and steal the electric cable that supply electricity to the new classes. As we speak, those classes have no electricity. And also several windows, almost more than 20 windows were broken into. The window fasteners were stolen, and the window handles were also stolen. Also, on the 30th of September last year, the thieves also came in to cut off the fire hose pipes. So they were also cut off. So that's why I'm saying the school is at the center of criminals.
News on One reached out to the Commerce Education Director, Paul Ngikembwa, in a telephonic interview, who said that plans are underway to enforce security at the school.
I think that is one of the schools which is in a very high prone area for break-ins and so forth. We have engaged, I think, in 3 or 2 occasions, the city police. We engaged the Namibian police and the National Youth Service, where we are getting our security services. We had meetings in 2 occasions, and plans are in place to devise mechanisms now from the security personnel as to how best can we secure our schools, not only Moses Garweb, but also all other schools, specifically in Windhoek. So the break-ins are alarming, but we have taken serious note of that, and we are engaging the necessary officers in terms of security.
A shallow earthquake was recorded at the coastal town of Luderitz in the Karas region this past Saturday morning. According to the public relations officer at the Ministry of Mines and Energy, Andrea Simon, the earthquake that occurred at 6:48 a.m. was recorded at a depth of less than 15 kilometers by 5 seismic stations of the Namibian Seismology Network. It is the first earthquake in the country to be recorded in 2023.
Simon explained that the occurrence took place approximately 184 kilometers southeast of Luderitz, which translates to 41 kilometers north of Rospina. He added that authorities stated no fatalities or damages were caused by the earthquake. In addition, he said the 5 seismic stations that simultaneously recorded the earthquake are stationed in Windhoek, Kamanyap, Karibib, Ariamsvlei and Aus.
This earthquake measured at least 3.3 in terms of magnitude on the Richter scale. And what we can also say is that it covered a depth in terms of vertically now, it covered a depth close to 15 kilometers into the earth. And then horizontally, I've given you the breadth of it. I think it covered, like I said, it was more towards the Rospina area. It's at least 50 or so kilometers from Rospina. What we also then know is that it did not, there was no damage to infrastructure like roads, buildings. So it wasn't that severe, if I should say the least. Not only that, but the very fact that it only measured 3.3 on the Richter scale. Normally, we find some trouble where you could expect some damage. If it's really severe, like above a 6 or 7 or so magnitude, then it doesn't matter how long it lasts. When it comes, it can cause very serious damage, actually.
Simon further explained that there are a few simple precautionary measures that the public can take when a possible earthquake is felt. Namely, finding refuge under a table when one is indoors and staying away from windows, trees and power lines, amongst other steps.
Stay clear of anything that could fall from the ceiling or from a higher altitude. You also want to take refuge under a safe table or a stable table or something like that. Just in case something falls, then at least, if there are elements that are falling, then at least you can be protected. But if you find yourself outdoors, for example, then we advise that you stay clear from lampposts or the street lights. Also try to stay clear from trees or just buildings in general that are at least higher than this certain meters, like maybe 3 or 4 meters high. And then also try to stay away from windows, for example, both internally and also external, because windows can crack, they can shatter, and that could actually cause harm to the humans.
Simon said that the most severe earthquake recorded in Namibia occurred at Korigas in April 2021 and registered a magnitude of 5.7 as recorded by the Namibian Seismology Network. He explained that buildings were damaged, rock falls occurred in the surrounding regions, and this all happened within a time span of less than 5 seconds.
We are not necessarily prone to the more severe ones, unlike countries like Japan and countries like New Zealand, for example. But we have ones that are normally between 3.2, 4.5. I think the highest we've had was a 5 point something.
Simon concluded that although Namibia is not prone to severe earthquakes as other countries, the public should adhere to precaution, as a coastal earthquake can quickly escalate into a tsunami, whereby ocean waves can rise up to 18 feet or almost 6 meters, causing a major catastrophe.
Have fun in the sun this summer with Fabio Farms Desert Sun Range. Formulated to protect you from harmful UVA and UVB rays, Fabio Farms Desert Sun Range is laboratory tested. Available as a sun protection cream and spray, the Desert Sun Range also contains jojoba oil, a natural sunscreen perfect for protecting children, adults, and babies from sunburn and skin cancer. With Fabio Farms Desert Sun Range, you can have a fantastic summer. Available at leading supermarkets and pharmacies countrywide. Remember, sunscreen should always be reapplied every 2 hours or after swimming, drying off, or sweating.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. The Namibia Financial Institutions Supervisory Authority, NAMFISA, Manager for Corporate Communications, Victoria Muranda, has stated some of the main complaints received, ranging from failure to pay out pension benefits, contributions, and failure to cancel a contract, amongst others.
Muranda has urged members of the public to make use of NAMFISA's dedicated complaints division, which takes 40 days to address a complaint.
The public can lay a complaint with anything with regards to market conduct, how they have been treated by the regulated entities, the entities that we regulate. If you feel that you've been treated unfair, you can complain to NAMFISA. We have a dedicated complaints division. Our complaints usually take about 40 days at max. It can take even the same day, depending on what the complaint is. Also important to mention is that there is no fee for complaints, so it's a service that you receive from the regulator at no fee. Also, maybe you would want to know what type of complaints do we usually mostly receive. When we look at our statistics, some of the complaints that we received is, for example, failure to pay pension benefits. So you're supposed to have this benefit for a pension and then it's not paid for. You can come and complain to NAMFISA. Failure to pay pension contributions, even just failure to cancel a contract. You had a contract with this entity and now it's not being cancelled and they continue to charge you. Lack of information on loans that you have been given, for example, or even just illegal deductions. So those are the type of complaints that we receive at NAMFISA. Obviously, this list is not exhaustive, but we receive a lot of those complaints.
Muranda further noted that NAMFISA should be the last resort to settle disputes amongst parties. She emphasized that sufficient documents and information should be presented once a complaint is laid at NAMFISA.
Firstly, as human beings, we want to do the right thing right. If you feel you're not treated fairly, at least come to NAMFISA and let's hear you out. What we also say is go first to the entity. Speak to the entity, raise your concern, ask for timelines, ask for procedures so that you understand how it works. If there is no agreement and you really feel aggrieved or you feel that you're not treated fairly, that's when then you come to the regulator, obviously with all the information, with all the contacts and so on, so that then we can take it up for you and see how we can resolve this complaint. But our first choice, always we say, is try and to resolve this complaint between you and the entity amicably before you come to NAMFISA. Don't just come to NAMFISA when you're aggrieved. First seek the clarity, the processes, the timelines and so on. What is also important is that when you complain, you must just make sure that you have all your documentation or all the correspondence or information around the complaint that you have. Usually you would have a contract. that you've entered into with this entity. So that is also very important for us to be able to read your contract, interpret it, go through it with you, and then speak to the regulated entity with regards then to the complaint. Our complaints, usually we want it to be reduced to writing. It must be in writing. You can write us an email, you can fax us, you can even write us a letter from wherever you are, and you post it to NAMFISA. If you're not able to do it yourself, you can come to our office or send somebody, and we can help you fill out the form. The forms are available on our website, on the NAMFISA website, www.namfisa.com.na. You can fill out a very simple form of complaint and attach all your documentation, and then we will take it from there.
NAMFISA is a state-owned entity responsible for regulating the non-banking financial sector.
That is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on business news.
Join Script every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m. on the nation's favorite radio station, playing the best hip-hop, urban, Afro, and R&B on 99 FM.
99 FM.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. Rehoboth is the core territory of the Buster community, which still lives according to their paternal laws that were enacted in 1872. Speaking at the Kalahari Media Familiarization Day, Samuel Hilunga, an independent tour guide from the Namibia Tourism Board, stated that Busters are closely linked to the town of Rehoboth and became identified as Rehoboth Busters or Rehobothers. Ali is proud of the history but wants the town to develop further. Haggis is not impressed with the historical facts presented by the guide. Black Boy said the townspeople continue to live in misery and poverty. Bunga said the information shared is good. And that's it from Comments Corner. Please continue engaging with us on our stories for broadcast only on News on 1.
On this episode of The She Word, we find out what should be done to protect egg donors from possible exploitation.
It is while waiting for a doctor's appointment to undergo tubal ligation in the UK that Pumla Navacha heard about egg donation.
I overheard a conversation between two slightly older African women, and they were going through a deep conversation about how they had failed for years and years, been trying to have a child, to have children.
Here's a look at tonight's sports update. The Namibia women's 7 indoor hockey team said they were busy strengthening tactics and anticipate to be ranked amongst the top 3 countries at the Hockey World Cup in Pretoria, South Africa next month. The women's national indoor team was crowned African champions last year, which sealed an automatic qualification to the World Cup scheduled from 5th to 12th February 2023.
Sport on One spoke to the team's captain, Margaret Mengo, who also recently recovered from an injury and was optimistic about progress made during training for the preparation for the FIH World Cup tournament.
I mean, we're super excited, and there's lots of pressure on us as well in terms of performance. We now more competing as the women's hockey team. We're really going out there and really competing for the title as well. The previous Indoor World Cup, we just lost out at the quarterfinals, so our goals are much higher than the quarterfinals now. We're aiming for higher goals, so we're going to take it game by game. Every game will be a final game for us, and we're going to go full out for every game. But we're super excited to really go, and why not? We can make it in the top 2, top 4. Why not? I mean, we're just a lady with a stick as well, and talented as well. So we're super excited, and we can't wait. We're aiming for higher goals. So we're going to take it game by game. Every game will be a final game for us, and we're going to go full out for every game. But we're super excited to really go, and why not? We can make it in the top 2, top 4. Why not? I mean, we're just a lady with a stick as well, and talented as well. So we're super excited, and we can't wait.
Mengo also revealed plans for a high-performance training camp and a tour scheduled for Europe before the World Cup resumes.
But prior to that, we will be heading to Europe for preparations to play against Holland and a few clubs within Holland as well, just to prepare ourselves against the top countries as well in the world. I mean, Holland is ranked second, and we're super excited to play against them. And it's just going to improve our structure, our game, and how to go out there and really give it out. So it's to really prepare amongst or against the top countries as well, because I mean, if you have to stay in Africa, I mean, we're number 1 in Africa. We recently played South Africa, and I think that is one country that really can compete against us in the African for indoor right now. And to stay here and train here, game time is quite important, and game time against top countries is also important. And we really want to play against the top 4 countries to really improve our game, because we're there to compete, like I said. So hence actually the tour to Europe. To really prepare very well and make sure that preparations, I mean, if you don't prepare well, then your competition will really be a tough one. So we need to know what is expected of us, have structure change, things change in Europe, they're always advanced, and we really want to be amongst those as well.
Mengo also took the opportunity to invite the Namibian nation to extend their support by attending matches against other teams during the World Cup tournament.
That's it from the sports front. Up next is the weather forecast. That's all the news we have for you tonight. Please don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. From me, Isai Sipunga, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future. A hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Thank you for watching this show on One Africa. Because you are part of our One family, your voice is very important to us. Please take a moment to rate this show by scanning the QR code on your screen now, and you can stand a chance to win fantastic prizes every month. T's and C's apply.